Hey YouTube, what is going on? My name is Andrew, aka the Black Dragon. This is Black Dragon Studios, and I'm back with another episode of Doomsday Last Survivors. Today, we're going to be doing a very special video for you guys. I'm going to be talking about something that probably doesn't get talked about a whole lot specifically, but I feel like there's an entire video to be made just on this subject, so I'm going to do it for you guys today. We're going to be talking about honing cores. Okay, what exactly are honing cores, you might ask? These things right here. Honing chips. I shouldn't say honing cores, I should say honing chips. Okay, because there are such a thing as honing cores as well, and we will get into that later in the video. But these things right here, okay, so they hone your armaments. They change the attributes on your armaments. So we go into the armaments here. This is an attribute that was honed by a honing chip. So there's different quality of hones. There's blue hones, which is like common hones. It's not going to give you a good stat line. Your number at best, for example, Rider Squad Block, which is just, it basically is good for your defense heroes to have squad block as a statistic. It would not be good on Bella, and the only reason I have it is because I haven't been able to roll anything better. Let's say you have like 1% travel speed and 41 squad block. Squad block is still going to increase your defense. It's going to increase your survivability when fighting in battle. So 1% speed as compared to 41 squad block, or like 1% attack compared to 41 squad block, or some other ridiculous stat that you could get, like 4.8% food gathering, is not going to be good as Rider Squad Block. The purple hones are better than the blues. These are going to be your epic hones, I guess, is that's the name for them. I can't remember at the moment. And then your gold hones are going to be like the best ones. I don't know if there's red hones. There may be. I don't know. But if there are red hones, then those would obviously be better than the gold hones. I've never got one personally. That's why I don't even know if they exist. But if there's anything better than legendary hone, I don't even know if it exists. But once we get into let's say that it is the best one. The gold attribute of any stat, so it could be travel speed, but if it's gold, it might say like 4% travel speed rather than 2.8, right? So let's take a look at Miyamoto's gear, and I go to manage, and I go to hone. Okay, so he's got infantry squad block and squad attack, 2.3%. Now it's going to tell me here I could potentially roll 5% infantry squad attack on Miyamoto. The common honings are not going to give me those stats. The advanced honings are going to give me those stats. And then you've got here the intermediate hone core, so specialized used for honing a legendary armament, guarantees a golden hone attribute, but it doesn't guarantee the number. Okay, it guarantees that it will be gold, but it doesn't guarantee the number. But then we go here to the advanced hone core, and it guarantees the gold hone at a maximum value. So I could potentially get with that the 5% infantry squad attack, which is what we would be looking for in Minamoto. Infantry squad block wouldn't be too bad either, or squad lethality would be awesome. But things like range squad block, rally, basic attack damage would be okay, I guess. But he's like a field general, so we would want stuff like squad attack, squad lethality, things like that. Infantry squad attack, since he is an infantry hero. Okay, how do we obtain these? Well, you can actually get them for free. You can't get them very often, you can't get them in great quantity, but you can get them for free from the Honing Challenge. And this is what I would recommend that you save your elite honing chips for, is the Honing Challenge, because once you do 150 advanced honings, you will get one advanced honing core. If you do 300, you'll get another one, and you'll get all these free advanced and regular honing chips as well from the deal, as well as all these resources. It's a surefire event, really. This is the best value you're ever going to get for doing your honings. Now, here's something to consider. If you're doing this, you would really want it to fall under top commander at very best case scenario. This event sometimes will fall during a top commander event. If this event is not happening during a top commander event, I recommend that you do not use your advanced honings, even if you have, actually especially if you have, say 500 saved up or 1,000 saved up. Do not use them during top commander unless this event is happening, because you're going to miss out. Yeah, you're going to get all those top commander points, but you're going to miss out on all of these very important advanced honing cores. Because as you saw there, there's a lot of heroes in this game that you're going to want to upgrade their gear for, and there's a lot of things that you could potentially roll unless you get to choose the attribute, which I don't think you do. That would be crazy if you did. But the point I'm trying to make is that when you use these, it's going to roll one of these randomly. So it could roll oil gathering speed at a maximum 20% on your Miyamoto, and you're obviously not going to be happy with that. You're going to want to use another one, right? So imagine having to do that 100 times over. If you only have one advanced honing core, you're probably not gonna be happy. That's even if it did roll the maximum value and it guarantees you whichever stat you want, you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of gear, potentially with 5 attributes on each one. So 8 times 5 is 40, and that's just on one hero. And you're probably going to want like 10 or 15 heroes over the course of time, plus the new heroes that come into the game. You're going to want as many of these as you possibly can get your hands on. So there's 2 ways to do it. You could just do it as soon as you get 300, as soon as you get enough to do 300 advanced honings, you could just go ahead with it, regardless of if it falls under a top commander or any other event in the game, like Alliance League or something like that, where you do challenges for your alliance to get points, like do 30 advanced honings. If it falls under that, great, but it's not necessary. There's enough value just from this one event here to just pull these during this event, regardless of what else is happening in the game. But once you get into like the 550 and the 1,000, you're starting to lose a little bit of value, honestly, because for the first 2 tiers, it's once every 150 advanced honings you're getting value, whereas here it goes to 250 honings from 300 to 550, and then 450 extra honings just to get more rewards from 550 to 1,000. So you're losing value unless you're planning to do something like go for the rank rewards, which could potentially get you even more. So say you place in the top 50 or even the top 10, you can get either 1 or 2 more plus some gems of these advanced honing cores, which honestly isn't really that far-fetched. If I'm looking at the point totals here, you can get into the top 50 with like 500 advanced honings very easily, which is going to give you an extra one. But you can place in the top 10 by the looks of it for roughly 1,100 or so advanced honings, which, you know, is okay, I guess. You really don't care about this though unless you're going for the top 3, and the top 3 is going to give you the skill hone core, which is used for honing the 5th slot of an armament and guarantees a rare hone attribute. So I'm guessing that there's like a 5th slot on the hero gear that can only be unlocked Oh, it unlocks that 5-star gear. Okay. So, honestly, man, unless you're like super endgame, unless you're super endgame and really spending a lot of money in this game, you're probably not going to be at that place for quite some time, so probably don't need to worry about that. But yeah, it's something to think about anyways. It's something to think about. Okay, so first and foremost, the only point I'm trying to make right now is use your honing chips only. Like, this event has to be happening when you're using your honing chips. Secondly, it would be better if it's during a top commander. Thirdly, it would be better if it was during a top commander plus Alliance League. But we can't always have our cake and eat it too. So just this event is fine. If you're early in the game like me, it works to your benefit to just save them no matter what, because your gear and your heroes are pretty much useless at the beginning of the game anyways, especially if you're in an alliance where they're mostly fighting with T5 and T6 troops. You can have the best hero equipment on your heroes, but a well-built T6 troop or a T5 troop is going to obliterate your T4 troops. So keep that in mind. Like, upgrading your hero gear isn't really that important at the beginning of the game. It becomes more important as you get your T5s and your T6s. Then you should start considering doing it more often. But you want to do it at the right time. Okay, you want to be getting the most value from it. So just save them, you know? And if you don't know why, I suggest to at least try to get them into a top commander, because this event will happen during a top commander occasionally. If you do 1,000 advanced honings during a top commander and a honing challenge, you're going to get hella top commander points. Whereas if you didn't do it during top commander, if you did it the month before and you didn't wait to see if it was gonna, do you see what I'm saying? Like, just wait a month. Yeah, it's great that you have 1,000 advanced honing chips saved up, but if you just wait at least to see if it pops up during your top commander, if it doesn't, oh well. The next time, next month, the honing challenge could pop up and you might want to use, half of your honing chips for that challenge, or all of them, whatever. I wouldn't blame you if you did that, but it would be a lot better than the former, which is spew all of my, honing chips the month before top commander is supposed to take place for me. And then, what do you know? The honing challenge shows up during top commander as well. And now I could have had like 50 or 100 million top commander points for absolutely free, but I decided to be impatient and splurge a month before. I think I've made my point. So the point now would be, make sure that you are honing the right attributes on your heroes when you actually do go to hone their equipment. So for example, on a guy like, let's just look at Dong Park Wook. He's a very common hero that everybody eventually uses at some point in the game. In my opinion, he's the best epic hero in the game, hands down. He's a legendary hero, if you really want to consider it. He is, because you can get him for free. He's a very powerful hero. He's used in many areas of the game that are going to help you acquire a lot of this free resources that you're going to need to win your top commander, like Bounty Ground, Water War, okay? So, and he's just good in the field as well. Like, I've actually used him in places like, Archipelago Raid, Island Raid, Genesis War, and, he gets me around the battlefield pretty quickly. You can avoid a lot of unwanted interactions when you have this guy on the battlefield. And he can hold his own against other T4s. Like, when I'm using him with my T4s, is what I'm trying to say. So, he's not a bad field hero either. And a zombie killer as well. So, on this type of a guy, you want nothing but speed. Every hone that you do on him, when you do go to hone him, his final product should say, travel speed, travel speed, travel speed. Every little thing with this type of a character should say travel speed. Now, if you can't get travel speed on this hero, what you're going to want is things like ranged squad attack. If you can't, or sorry, rider attack, because he's a rider hero. Rider squad block, or rider lethality, squad lethality, things like that. Okay? If you end up rolling a hone such as oil gathering speed or food gathering speed, then re-roll it. Even if you roll the maximum, you're never going to use it, you know? So don't even worry about it. Now, on an offensive hero such as this, you're probably going to be better off not rolling things like rider squad defense or squad block either. Those are more for your like garrison heroes. And I'm not saying it would be bad to have it on him. Like, I would take, for example, I would take a maximum roll of rider squad block over 1% travel speed with this guy, because it's a major stat difference. Like, you know, going from a maximum hone rider squad defense to a blue 1% travel speed, you're going to get way more out of the maximum hone that, you know, although it's defensive, it still increases your survivability in battle, which does make you a little bit more powerful than, you know, just being a tiny little bit faster. So those are all things to consider, right? But if I had the choice, if both of them were max hone, like maximum 5% travel speed, or maximum hone, like 60 rider squad block, I would take the travel speed every single time with a hero like this. Okay, and then you've got your like garrison heroes as well, like Ray Goro, for example, right? You've got Ray Goro as one of your garrison heroes. Then you're gonna want things like infantry squad block, infantry squad defense, squad block, things like that, all across the board. Just things that increase your survivability while garrisoning. So that's pretty much, you know, make sure you're rolling the right attributes during your hones. Make sure you know what the right attributes are. If you're rolling legendary gear for your gathering hero, yes, then you might want, you know, 20% food gathering speed or 20% oil gathering speed, and you can eventually have the best gatherers in the game. But don't use your advanced honing cores on your gathering heroes. Only use them on your best attacking or defending heroes in PvP. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? Now, I guess we've gone through the whole video. You're very aware of how important it is to save up your honing chips, use your honing chips at the correct time, as well as what types of attributes to look for and on what heroes. I think it's more of a common sense thing, honestly, bro. Once you get to know the hero that you're working with, you might have used them in battle a time or two, or you might have seen other people use them in battle a time or two. You know what they're going to be used for. Then you know what to look for in their honing attributes, and you know which honing attributes are good and which ones are bad. Now, the last question to answer is, well, where can I get these honing chips from to save up? Well, let's take a look. The best place to get them is from Arena of Doom. So just do your daily arena battles and then collect your demise dimes from this spot right here under me. There's like a chest right here. You click that and then it brings this up. You claim those every hour or whatever. It'll collect, you know, a maximum of a certain amount depending on what rank you are in the game. And those will disappear. You go up to the top right corner here and click on this little shopping cart. And this is the store. This is the arena store. And every week here, you can actually purchase honing chips. You can purchase up to 20 honing chips a week. I would recommend, you know, buying 3 or 4 or 5 every single week. Don't spend all on, because honestly, this is the best place in the game to get carbon steel and defensive fabric. So make sure you're at least maxing out the carbon steel and then getting some defensive fabric as well. That'll go a long way for your progression in this game, but also don't skimp on the honing chips as well. I know there's a lot of other stuff in the arena store, resource packs, search maps, speed ups, shoe fragments, pant fragments, you know, it's all good. But I think you're going to get the best value from arena store, and you'll probably agree with me after playing the game for some time. As an early game player, by getting carbon steel and defensive fabric and honing chips specifically and only from the arena store. Remember to use your dimes as well, because they do refresh each week, and when the store refreshes, all of your dimes will disappear that you had saved up from the previous week. So that's one way you can get them for free. The second best way that you can get them, and I have done a video on this as well, so you can go back and check my bounty ground video of how to win bounty ground with Dong Park Wook, the guy that I just showed you guys, and only T4 troops. All you need really is, well, you could even do it, I guess, with T3s. If you had T3s or T4s, you could do it with any troops as long as you have a decent speed Dong Park Wook. You can do this. You can get 8 or 10,000 tickets from this event in like 6 or 7 runs. I kid you not. It's really easy with Dong Park Wook. So you save up 8 to 10,000 of these tickets here. I'm not sure the exact number. And that will help you clear the board of the roulette. You'll get every single item on this roulette wheel every week, which includes 6 advanced honing chips. If you do this every week over the course of a year and get, 4 or 5 from the arena, that's going to be 500 honing chips just from those 2 areas alone per year. Now, there will be events that pop up that offer you honing chips. There will be events that pop up to make you use your honing chips. Do not use your advanced honing chips unless, I can't stress this enough, unless it's the advanced honing challenge happening. If this is happening, green light. If not, red light. Okay? Now, so I've gone through all the places that I know of to get these. Let me just make sure that I didn't forget anywhere. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I guess this is blatantly obvious, but there are packs that offer these honing chips as well. Just be careful. I tend to find, the 99 gold packs, if you're a spender in this game, is the best deals that you're going to ever get for any pack 90% of the time. Save but for things like, the things like the B-Duck, the Quacking Escapade, where you can get, a sweet, shelter skin and tons of other good stuff for only like 1,999 gold, which is really worth it, in my opinion, if you're going to be a spender in this game. But just on an overall everyday pack level, the overall everyday packs that cost 99 gold are going to give you your best value. This here, for example, 299 gold will get you 4, 5, 6 advanced honing chips. But in the previous tier, I just spent 99 gold, and unfortunately, I don't think it will show you that, but I spent 99 gold, and I got 6 advanced honing chips. So now they're going to make me spend 3 times more to get the next offer, and I'm not going to do that. I don't care. But if you're a big spender in this game, you could essentially just keep buying as many of these honing chips as your heart desires for this pack here. Okay? And other various packs, these things will show up as well. Just be careful, areas that you don't really want to be wasting your, for example, like if we go to the season preview here in the seasonal shop for this is an area where I think you could get them, isn't it? No, never mind. They're not available. Well, I thought they were available, like Elite Honing Chip or something like that. You'll see them in other events as well. Occasionally pop up. Where you can spend an absurd amount of valuable resources to get like an Elite Honing Chip or 2. Or you can get like superb hero equipment fragments, you know what I mean, for like the exact same price. Go with the most rare item that you're gonna get from spending that money. For example, like if we go here, these DLS, whatever they're called, stars, I guess, you can get them for participating in events, and they're very limited. They give them to you in a very limited quantity. So let's say here that this parts material elite was actually an elite honing chip, and it was 6 DLS stars, but the IE augment your fragment is only 8 stars, but this is the only area of the game that you can consistently get these. Do you see what I mean? Unless you already have these and you have the golden nano coatings, which is the only area of the game where you can actually purchase these. Yes, they are more expensive, but they are also 10 times more rare than a stupid honing chip. Don't buy your honing chips from places like these if you ever see them there, okay? Another place where you could get them is from the store. But the problem with this store is you have to be VIP level 18. And most people aren't even VIP level 10. So, but there's something to keep in mind. You can get them here if you are VIP level 18. You can spend diamonds to get them. And various other events. So that's really all I got for you guys today. You guys have understood the importance of honing chips, why it's important to hone the right attributes on your heroes and use your honing chips at the right moment to maximize your rewards in this game. And this is actually one of the few instances where it's not always necessary for a top commander to be happening to use such a valuable resource in this game. Alright? So let me know what you guys think of this video, if you guys agree with what I'm saying or if you don't, and why, how you save up your honing chips and how you use your honing chips. Also let me know if you're going to do that, what kind of a spender you are in this game. Are you a free-to-play player telling me this, or are you a spender telling me this? And with that, I'm getting out of here for today. Peace out, guys.